Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Tomas, great to see you as always. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, my friend.
Same to you, my friend. It was a really good time. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving as well. And thank you for being patient with us. I know it's almost a week old and we got another big pay-per-view heading for us tomorrow, but we got to talk about it. We got to talk about All Elite Wrestling Full Gear coming from the fabulous Kia Forum, not the Fabulous Forum, as I know that got under Zack's skin, in Los Angeles, California.
Inglewood.
They were saying LA, but
yeah, but it's right down the street from SoFi Stadium, so it's Inglewood.
Speaking of Inglewood, we were at WrestleMania 23 at SoFi Stadium, but we all opted to not go to this pay-per-view. My reasoning being, I can't justify going to just a regular pay-per-view in LA. Look, if this was a SummerSlam, if this was a Survivor Series, a Royal Rumble, if this was a big AEW Stadium show, you know what, I would have made the trip. But if it's more than an hour away just for a regular pay-per-view, I'm going to have to pass on that. Our buddy Good Mike Work, he had to pass on that. Zach was in the area and he decided to pass on it. But
I did.
This was a damn good wrestling show.
Well, it's like, let me explain myself real quick, because I very easily could have gone. But I decided to keep the money in my pocket because next year I am looking to move to a new location with my girlfriend. So it's, it's thinking long term. Here.
There's going to be plenty more, Raws, SmackDowns, house shows, pay-per-views, Dynamites, all that stuff in our area. So if we miss one, it's okay. There's a Monday Night Raw rolling around our area in February. And because of prior commitments, both me and Zach have to miss out on that.
Both of us.
Okay. We went to the biggest pay-per-view of the year this year, so you know what? It's okay. But like I said, this was a damn good professional wrestling show, and this really showed that when AEW wants to be good, they are good when it comes to both in-ring action and storytelling. This was a very polarizing show when it came to the booking, and after having some time to sit on it, having time to simmer on it, there was some really good storytelling on the show. And there was some very questionable storytelling in the show, as we'll get into very early on in the show. But I will say now, I like this show a lot more than Wrestle Dream. I know I said All Out was probably the most slept on pay-per-view of the year. It was a really thrown together card, but it ended up being really damn good. And
it was awesome.
It was really good. I don't think it was better than All Out, but it was definitely better than Wrestle Dream. And honestly, I thought it was better than Allin.
Yeah. I like this pay-per-view more than their big stadium show. And I was about to ask you if you liked this more than All Out, because I know how much we loved that pay-per-view when we talked about it. I can't sit here and say, because Tomas and I were also in the building for Revolution in San Francisco. I might have a personal bias in saying that that's my favorite AEW pay-per-view of the year. And I realized we were doing like year-end awards like in November, but that's like...
Don't do that, sir, because we got Survivor Series tomorrow and we got AEW World's End coming up the day before New Year's Eve, which
you cannot tell me that World's End is going to be better than Revolution. Like, I honestly couldn't tell you that World's End is going to be better than this show. Because Full Gear was absolutely awesome. I was sitting there watching it, and I was like, man, I would have had a lot of fun there, wouldn't I? I would have had a lot of fun, but it's okay.
Tony really's got to buckle down if he's going to be booking monthly pay-per-views, because let me tell you, man, that's still making me nervous. I'm still waiting for the Max deal, because Tony Khan, it's 2023 going into 2024, and you are crazy if you think modern wrestling fans are going to slap down $50 every month for a pay-per-view. I was okay doing it 4 times a year, but we are going into, I hate to crunch the numbers, but with All In, All Out, Wrestle Dream, this show, and World's End, we've slapped down almost $300 for pay-per-views in the past few months. And Tony Khan, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's a little, this isn't 2005 anymore. I know I'm getting off but,
we'll get to vengeance. We'll get to vengeance.
Yeah. Like, you look at back in the day, even like in 2009 and 2010, and people are getting pretty tired of slapping down $50 for mediocre WWE pay-per-views. The quality could be good on these AEW shows, but you know what? Eventually, they're going to have a stinker. And people are going to be like, I paid $50 for this crap.
The difference is, this is not 2010 WWE. This pay-per-view absolutely was not the absolute drizzling shits.
No, absolutely not. But eventually, Tony Khan's going to put on a stinker.
Yeah.
All Out 2022.
Yeah, I mean, there were good matches on that show. Double or Nothing this year wasn't very good in my eyes, thinking back on it.
Double or Nothing 2023.
Yeah, wasn't a very good show aside from the last two matches. But
we are going to quickly go through the pre-show, except one match because I was able to watch the pre-show. Zach was not, and this was a pretty decent pre-show, all things considered. We open up. Yes, you're going to hear me right. We open up with the Ring of Honor World Title as Eddie
Kill
Kingston
the brand.
Eddie
Kill
Kingston
the brand
is defending against Jay Lethal, and let me get my thoughts about this now. We were yearning and begging for Eddie Kingston to win this Ring of Honor World Title after we saw him fail the capture from Claudio Castagnoli at Supercard of Honor earlier this year. But you know what killed it? Him being never openweight champion at the same time. I really think that killed the vibe of him. This isn't Goldberg winning the WCW title with the United States title. This is just, they put the title on Kingston, and then Tony Khan just decided, you know what the hell? His momentum is dead, but we're going to put the Ring of Honor World title with him as well. I think the moment would have been a lot better in him carrying this brand. A brand that is almost dead to rights. Let me say that right now. And I'm going to go into a huge rant about it at the end of this pre-show. But again, the Ring of Honor World title is opening the pre-show to an AEW pay-per-view. Tony Khan, what the fuck? Against, in my opinion, the greatest Ring of Honor World champion of all time in Jay Lethal.
It's blasphemous, man. Like, it's crazy to see how far this brand has fallen. Even since Chris Jericho was holding this same belt last year when he lost it to Claudio. Like, at this point, I mean, Ring of Honor was cool. Like, it was like the great alternative to WWE back in the early stages of the PG era. That's when you saw people like Kevin Steen and El Generico tearing it up in the Battles Without Honor. You know, it's
far removed from the days of Kevin Owens and El Generico and Jay Lethal and the Briscoes and
Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness in our Broadways, you know?
Nigel McGuinness. And even in the later days with, Dijak and the Shane Taylor promotions. And even, you know what? Even back in the days of 2020, when we had no audiences, when they came up with the concept of the Pure title and, Danhausen was making his way up the ranks there, Ring of Honor was still very enjoyable. But ever since Tony Khan saved it from extinction last year, it's like, he doesn't know what to do with it because you know what? You can't run. You can't be the head booker of the second biggest wrestling promotion in the country and then still want to be the head booker of Ring of Honor as well. Just because, I've said it before, I'll say it again. These are like action figures of Tony Khan. Look, Kota Ibushi. Daddy, can I have Kota Ibushi? Daddy, can I have Will Ospreay? We'll get into that later. But it's like, Daddy, I want Ring of Honor. Like, you can't do that if you don't know how to properly take care of these promotions.
It's just going to start collecting dust in the Daily's Place garage, literally.
Yeah.
So,
and it's like,
I mean, Eddie
complained that WWE was going to pick it up just to make it a tab on Peacock. But at this point, I would love to have all the Ring of Honor pay-per-views on a tab on Peacock. And then their weekly show is put behind a paywall. And Tony Khan is just using it as like, well, you know what? I got nothing for Samoa Joe. Stop him over there. I got nothing for Athena, and Athena is the best goddamn thing on that show, and she's locked behind a paywall. She is probably the best women's champion in the country, and we can't watch her without paying $9.99 a month. Crazy.
It's absolutely, that's a whole other rant that I could get into. But Eddie Kingston, of course, retains this title because Tony Khan does not like using Jay Lethal either.
It's fairly decent to good match too. Like Eddie and Lethal actually have very good chemistry. They were trading big suplexes. Kingston is a student of the game. We've talked about he loves his Japanese wrestling, so we see a lot of Saito suplexes, backdrops. Oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? Stone Pitbull, the chops.
Oh man, I'm blanking too.
The Ishii chops.
Yeah,
all the stuff he's picked up over there. And then, again, I'm going to agree with you what you just said. Lethal is just a part of the goof troop with Jeff Jarrett and Satnam Singh and his wife Karen. And, if you've seen one Jeff Jarrett match in AEW, you've seen all of them. You see the shenanigans. Jarrett's trying to give the guitar to Lethal to El Kabong, Eddie with, but then Ortiz comes into the mix. And I'm like, I didn't know Kingston and Ortiz were homies, but I don't watch AEW Dark Elevation at 3 a.m. So I'm sorry, Tony Khan. I must have been out of the loop for that one. And Eddie Kingston is able to pick up the win, like you said, and retain the Ring of Honor World title. It's just, it sucks because when we saw Eddie not win the championship, as Supercard of Honor. You saw how upset I was over that. And now that we're finally here, it's like he lost all momentum. He lost all of his steam. Tony Khan did not capitalize on Kingston's popularity, even though this man is so passionate and loves the business. Again, he cooled off. He cooled off in the 7 months. They didn't capitalize and put the title on him. So it's just like, it's lukewarm now.
He really is our generation's Tommy Dreamer, isn't he?
He really is.
Like,
I'm going to give the match 3 stars because Lethal and Kingston put in very good work in this match.
Yeah. Can't rate it because I didn't watch the match, but I'm going to take Tomas's, I'm going to trust his critique of it. But I guess...
You know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say, you also have Claudio Castagnoli on the pre-show. Like, I'm sure Triple H would love to have that guy back. Claudio defeats Buddy Murphy in a pretty nothing match by submission.
I want to talk about that match, but before we get into that, since we're on the subject of Eddie Kingston and his titles, later on in the show, it is announced that Eddie Kingston is being entered in the Continental Classic, which is a brand new tournament. Tony Khan in his fucking tournaments on AEW, and it's going to have the biggest stars in AEW history. You know what? Again, we were recording this after the brackets have been announced. It's going to be round robin style. And you know what? They have a pretty good field, but Eddie drops the bombshell in an interview that he wants to defend both his Ring of Honor and New Japan Open, the Never Open Weight Championships in every single match. So that says, number one, that is the most foregone conclusion I've ever seen in my life, that Eddie Kingston's going to make it to the finals because he just won these titles and he's not going to drop them in this tournament. Both of his titles? Are you serious?
No.
I get it. The fighting champion gimmick. Everybody's doing it. Everyone's got to defend their title every week. But, you know, it's like, it doesn't need to be here. This is a round robin tournament, which guarantees every single person in their block is going to face each other at least once. So you're going to tell me now that Kingston's going to he's going to go undefeated in this tournament. And it's like, don't you want a tournament to be somewhat unpredictable? And the other thing that this brings up is apparently Tony Khan has said the winner of the Continental Classic is going to become a Triple Crown champion, because you just gave the foregone conclusion that the Ring of Honor, the Never Openweight champion, is going to be in the finals because Kingston decided to put his titles on the line. And now it's going to create a Triple Crown championship, which means you're going to consolidate the Ring of Honor World title, the Never Openweight championship, and a brand new title. So again, I don't think Tony Khan has any right fucking around with New Japan's titles unless they have an agreement going into this. So I'm just like, this is Tony Khan not only spitting on the legacy of the Ring of Honor World title, but him finally realizing he has too many titles, and now he's trying to consolidate them. What the actual fuck, man?
Why does he have so many titles? I mean, at this rate, he's probably going to be booking Battle in the Valley this year, but, I mean, that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Like
you said, Buddy Matthews, representing House of Black, is taking on Claudio Castagnoli, representing the Blackpool Combat Club. In the match that was made the
Could you imagine?
Collision. And you know what? This was actually a pretty enjoyable match. You put Castagnoli in.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
It's still AEW's best kept secret, and he's being kept in a fucking faction.
He's being kept on the pre-show. Claudio is being kept on the pre-show. These guys are main show talents. Like, what are you doing with them?
And, you know, it's just as good as you'd think it would be. It's stiff as fuck. Castagnoli wins the match with his giant swing and sharpshooter combination, which Claudio Castagnoli has a pretty good sharpshooter. It's better than Sting's. It's better than The Rock's, but it's not better than, like, Bret Hart's.
No, it's not better than a few other people I could think of. But, yeah, Claudio makes Buddy Matthews tap to the sharpshooter, which is, it's odd because a House of Black member taps out. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. It just kind of, like, it's weird mystique there, you know? Like, the mystique has kind of rubbed off of the House of Black, just based off the fact that Buddy Matthews tapped out clean in the middle. Like,
you know, on one hand, I love how Claudio Castagnoli has such a large repertoire. You know, he has the Gotch neutralizer. He has the pop-up uppercut. He has the Claudio swing. He's got the sharpshooter. He's got all of these moves in his arsenal. But you're right. Out of all those moves, the sharpshooter. It kind of took me off guard to see Matthews tap out like that. And again, Tony Khan, I get it. House of Black is a fantastic trio. It's almost been a year since they won those trios titles.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking use Malachi Black, because let me remind everyone, Malachi's wife is in WWE.
Yeah.
So you're crazy if you don't think he's like, hey, babe, they're not using me over here. I'm sorry, babe. You want me to talk to Hunter for you? It's as easy as that.
Can Hunt, like anybody who's followed NXT Black and Gold, you know that Hunter is a huge Malachi Black fan. So, like, Tony Khan needs to smarten up, and he needs to make sure that the House of Black is booked on a main event level consistently from here on. But
fucking Matthews, who's he engaged to?
He's engaged to Rhea Ripley. I had to think about it for a second.
I just tapped out clean to Claudio Castagnoli on the pre-show. I'm sorry, babe. You want me to talk to Hunter for you? Hey, can you let him know that we have Brody fucking King with us too?
Yeah. Just bring the whole fucking stable over. That makes sense. You could have a long-term storyline going on with Seth Rollins ready for them to, once they get re-signed over there. Brody King could have some bangers over there. Like,
he could.
Don't be surprised. Yeah, if Tony Khan keeps misusing the House of Black, do not be surprised if Hunter scoops them up. You know, like they will prosper on the other side. Mark my words.
So, this is the most important match on the pre-show. It's MJF, the one half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions and the AEW World Champion, defending his tag team titles with his substitute partner Samoa Joe taking on the Guns, aka the Ass Boys.
Now let me hear. Hold on. Now let me hear you say Ass Boy.
Underutilized talent.
Oh. Ooh, you want to talk about underutilized talents? Yeah, the Guns are members of the Bang Bang Gang, and they're basically going in and they're... I know what I said. So they're going in there basically to soften up MJF before the main event, and he is going up against the Guns leader in Jay White for the world title. But
so Samoa Joe has basically cut a deal with MJF saying,
yes,
I will have your back if you give me the next shot at the AEW world title. It reminds me a lot of Batista and Booker T back in 2006, where Batista promised to protect King Booker from the Monday Night Raw roster going into his big Champions Triple Threat match.
Yeah.
World title shot at Survivor Series. So I thought that was really cool. A fun little throwback there. But this was the definition of missed opportunity, because let's get into this storyline. MJF and Adam Cole is the best storyline going in AEW right now.
Yes.
But a huge monkey wrench was thrown into their plans when Adam Cole broke his ankle and needed 3 separate surgeries. So he's out of the picture for the foreseeable future. So Tony Khan, not wanting to break his storyline, keeps the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles on MJF to do this solo run act. How much of a slap in the face is that to the whole Ring of Honor Tag Team division? You tell me. But this was a perfect opportunity to put some gold on Bullet Club Gold, put those tag team titles on the Ass Boys now that they are in a position where they deserve gold, because ever since they joined Bullet Club Gold, the Guns have gotten so much fucking better. They are so entertaining. They are so damn good in the ring. They are such a solid tag team. And this was a golden opportunity to do that. I get it. Protect your world champion. I get it. Maybe this would have been better if you didn't fucking pin him a couple weeks ago.
Throughout this show, and like everything you said about the Ass Boys is 100% correct, and I love how they are still committed to the act. I love that fans around the world will still go to these shows and they'll watch the Guns and they'll still chant Ass Boys at them, and Austin will still, or Colton rather, I keep mixing them up. I cannot do that anymore. Austin is the one who looks like my cousin. Colton is the shorter one who is trying to sell us the... Fuck, no, Colton is... I'm killing... I swear, I'll get it right one day. But... No, there's no way. They're not identical looking. I mean, they both look like Billy. Very much. Like, you look into their eyes and you definitely see their father. But, like, people will still come from all over the world to chant Ass Boys. and then Austin will get so offended by that. It's the best. It is the best.
This was a decent little match. At one point, Samoa Joe cuts off the kangaroo kick. Thank you, because that's such a fucking stupid move.
Fuck you. Fuck you. The kangaroo kick.
They tease dueling muscle busters, and then when the Guns are about to pick up the win, Adam Cole's music hits. Okay. Cole hobbles out there on his crutches. That provides enough of a distraction for Joe to choke out one of the ass boys with the coquina clutch. And that's when I was just so deflated after that. I'm like, there's no point in having the Ring of Honor tag team titles on MJF now. There is 0 point. Adam Cole is out of the picture. You know what, TK? Yes, it fucking sucks. It absolutely fucking sucks that Adam Cole got injured here. But you can't cling on to the storyline. You got to learn how to, adjust. The first thing I can think of is
you need to adapt.
Yeah, Triple H tore his quad in 2006, going into 2007. It sucked, and actually threw a huge monkey wrench into their plans, because apparently the plan, the main event, was going to be Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and John Cena in a triple threat at WrestleMania.
WrestleMania 23, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I thought it was supposed to be Hunter and Cena in a rematch from 22 at 23. That's what I thought. I don't think Shawn was in the picture at all. Which is
that is the
crazy.
Case, they had to adapt.
Yeah.
They had to adapt. They put Shawn Michaels in there. He's a good guy. He's a good go-to guy. But, they're trying to cling on to this. I think it's a slap in the face of the entire tag team division that Tony Khan is just like, no, my storyline. I can't take the titles off MJF. Yes, you can. Yeah, it sucks. But yes, you can.
Yeah, you just got to learn how to adapt, or like it is on Survivor, you're voted off the island. But anyway, the aftermath is what's important about this match. So the Guns, or the Ass Boys, take some steel chairs, and they wallop MJF in his bum knee, which he has repeated many times on media scrums, and he has constantly joked about it. He's like, God damn this bum fucking knee. Like, he tore it up in high school playing football or something, playing linebacker, and it's been bugging him ever since. But the Ass Boys see a huge bullseye on that knee, and they just whack MJF with that over and over and over again with the steel chair. MJF is rolled out of the arena and placed into an ambulance on a stretcher, and he is pleading with his brochacho, Adam Cole. Don't let them take the title away from me. Do not let them do it. And the 0 hour cuts to black, and Adam Cole is he's torn. He doesn't know what to do. So
I will say,
yeah,
was very interesting when they first did it, because I was like, I didn't expect them to do this, and I was really curious how this is going to pan out now. It's going to turn into a fucking train wreck, and we will get to that when we get to that. But we opened the show, and you tell me if I'm wrong. Is this the first time we've gotten a video intro to an AEW pay-per-view? Because I was kind of taken aback.
Yeah, this is the first time I can remember a video intro, but they did a really good job with it, I thought.
I hate to say it was very WWE-esque.
Well, I mean, again, they want to, I think it's a pretty uniform way to start off any wrestling pay-per-view. You go back and watch a lot of the old WCW shows, they would do that all the time, too. Doesn't matter what the initials are.
Not saying it's a copycat thing. I'm just saying I was actually complimenting it. I thought the production value was almost the level of WWE when it came to this video package. I thought it was very good.
Well, I mean, AEW has considerably gotten better production-wise through the years, because it was very choppy. It was very choppy in its infancy, but I mean, I think they've definitely
need work.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like they've definitely polished up a little bit, and we'll see how it looks maybe 5 more years down the line. Maybe they'll look even better. I hope they look even better. Yeah. But
because I just feel like their hype packages are just, either recaps, or it's just random interviews with the commentators saying how important this match is. And you look at WWE, they touch up the video production, and they have a song in the background.
They're like movie trailers.
Yeah, they splice together the promos very well in the segments. And again, sorry to compare, but it's just, it is one of AEW's weaker points.
So anyway, AEW Full Gear was live on November 18th from the mini SoFi Stadium. I mean, the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California. We start off with a very interesting trios tag team contest here. It is Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne known as the Patriarchy, which I absolutely fucking love. I don't think they were officially called the Patriarchy, like, on the nameplate, but the Titantron clearly was blasting the Patriarchy name out there, and I fucking love it. I fucking love it.
Such an easy way to get heat.
Yes, but that team is going up against the Rated R superstar Adam Copeland, Darby Allin, and Sting. It should be noted, first of all, the Patriarchy comes out with a children's choir humming Christian Cage's theme song, which I thought was so great. Christian Cage went over to the orphanage and he claimed all those kids as his own.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say he kidnapped all those kids.
He kidnapped all those kids and he had them sing his theme song.
And he said, I'm your father now.
Yeah. Because you don't have a father, you say. You don't have a father? Okay. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Could you imagine?
How long is Christian Cage? How long is Christian Cage champion? Like 6 months now?
Yeah. He's been the TNT champion probably for I don't know, maybe 130 days at this point. 130 something days. Yeah, Luchasaurus never held that title. Which, speaking of, Tomas, to add on to this game, could you imagine Christian Cage in a foster home with the TNT title? But
also,
okay.
This was such a perfect setup for the match, but there's somebody here sticking out like a sore fucking thumb that doesn't belong.
God. Well, can I talk about how awesome the baby faces looked, by the way? Because they're all wearing color coordinated gear. They're coming out to Alter Bridge Metalingus. I know it's weird for you, Tomas. I know it's very weird, but
I miss Edge in WWE.
Hey, Edge is one of my favorites of all time, so I will support him wherever he goes. I don't give a fuck what the initials are, but he was out there and his.
I didn't. I'm just saying I miss him in WWE.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Seeing Macho Man Randy Savage or Bret Hart in WCW.
Mm-hmm.
Either they're still the same. I don't hate them. It's just
it's just weird.
We need to talk about this with Greg next time we talk about it.
It's weird.
I'm sure Edge in AEW for me was like Macho Man in WCW for him.
Yeah. Yeah, but Macho Man was in WCW for longer than he was in WWE, so that's a different situation. But anyway, Edge actually does have half of his face painted like Darby Allin does. I don't give a shit. Edge has half of his face painted. Darby Allin has half of his face painted. Sting
behind him in WWE.
Sting has his entire face painted. Ric Flair does not have his face painted, though. So fuck him.
Oh, ding, 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 ding,
yeah,
ding.
Fuck him for not playing by the rules. Yeah.
Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Let's talk about this now. AEW has signed Ric Flair. I've almost lost all of this company.
Why? Why do you want to give him a job? Why does he need a job?
Flair contribute to the company?
No, nothing. Nothing. He's 77 years old. He can't wrestle anymore.
And he wants to get physical.
I swear to God, if he is Sting's last match and he turns heel before Revolution and he builds up to having Sting's final match, I've lost all hope. I've lost all fucking hope. But anyway,
I'm done.
Goodness gracious. But
all jokes aside, this was actually a really good match.
It was really fun. Darby Allin, of course, being the guy who is going to take a fucking red eye after this pay-per-view to go to Nepal to climb Mount...
Talk about that spot already?
Yeah, to climb Mount fucking Everest. Yes, I'm going to talk about this spot because, again...
misunderstanding from my point, he's not climbing the mountain right now. They misspoke. He is currently training right now, but still, sometime in the spring, he is going to... He's going to climb that mountain, and this may be the last pay-per-view match we ever see from Darby Allin.
Don't depress me right now. He's going to climb up there with his will. You told me that, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. This guy, I don't know.
How much money bet he's going to climb the mountain in his wrestling gear?
So, of course, he was the Heat guy, right? Of course, he was the Heat guy. And Luchasaurus picks this lad up for a chokeslam. And Darby takes a chokeslam, and he folds in half like an accordion on the ring apron, and he completely takes a tumble, crashes to the outside, almost crashes through the base of the announce table. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. I would not recommend any pro wrestler do this. You know,
there is a certain spot in the main event that is going to bring out a huge rant for me when it comes to the style of pro wrestling nowadays.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that.
But I will say also, Darby Allin did have some really, really, really nice chemistry with Nick Wayne, and Nick Wayne is really impressing me. I know he's only 18 years old and he's got a long ways to go, but I mean, when people call him a prodigy, that's exactly what he is. That is exactly what he is. Yeah.
Stick him in a faction. They grow. If you would have just had this guy be in the plain white meat babyface wrestling on Rampage every week, nothing. You stick him in a faction with a former world champion, a guy that has had 20 plus years of experience, and an AEW veteran in Luchasaurus, and you have him work with fucking Sting and Adam Copeland and Darby Allin. He's learning a lot right now. So he's doing very well. So this was a very good move.
Oh, he's Christian Cage's new son. But anyway, another big story, of course, is Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage, which is a feud that has been played out for almost like over 20 years at this point. It's over 20 years in the making. Adam Copeland desperately wants this tag, and Christian, anytime Copeland gets in the ring, he fucking bails. He gets out of Dodge as fast as he can because he does not want to get his comeuppance for telling Edge to go fuck himself live on the air. I mean, he does not want to get his comeuppance yet. Go ahead.
They had an excellent feud in 2001,
they did.
And I feel like they never properly revisited that until now. I know Edge and Christian had a great match in 2010 on Monday Night Raw as a part of the Edge and Orton feud where they picked each other's poison and Christian was Edge's opponent. They had an excellent match there. But it's just very weird that WWE never got around to. Well, I mean, to be fair, they feuded in 2001. Christian Cage left in 2005. He didn't come back till 2009. And then 2 years later, Edge retired.
Yeah, that was the only big feud that they had in WWE. And I'm glad
they never really had the opportunity to get back together.
Give Tony Khan credit where it's due for actually circling back and exploring this as a personal blood rivalry. You know, like two best friends who have been torn apart. Well, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, I think it's, hey, I'm in. After that promo, I am so in on this program. But Christian, fuck off. Christian just runs away. And, Luchasaurus gets tagged in, and him and Copeland work together, which Copeland has gotten to know Luchasaurus pretty well, hasn't he? He's worked him quite a few times since he arrived on the scene at WrestleDream. I believe Luchasaurus was also Copeland's first match in the company. Copeland beat him clean, which I'm like, I don't know how many times you want to be beating Luchasaurus clean, because that guy's a freaking monster, and like, you shouldn't be making him look as weak as he looks with Christian right now, but I don't know.
Copeland to start putting people over.
Yeah.
AEW with their fucking, this is a former WWE guy, you gotta put him over every time.
I hate to say that, but
don't fucking CM Punk him. Don't fucking CM Punk him.
Yeah, Adam Copeland and Sting do a combo Scorpion Death Drop / elbow drop on Luchasaurus, which I thought was a cool double team move. Again, Edge, I'm sure, was giddy like the young wrestling fan that he grew up as, that he was actually teaming up with fucking Sting. That, like, you never thought you would see that. Sting and Edge in the same ring, in the same match. Like,
yeah, we're never going to see Sting and Edge in the same ring.
Yeah, we saw Sting and Adam Copeland, though. Adam Copeland equals Edge, you asshole.
Sting and Copeland go way back, according to Sting.
No.
They do?
On what planet? On what planet do they go way back?
Yes, Adam. Don't you remember me and you feuding in TNA in 2006? That was Christian. That was Christian, pal. Oh shit! Are you sure you guys aren't brothers?
That was Christian. Oh, that was whoa, Christian.
I'm gonna miss Sting after next year.
I am so gonna miss Sting too. And like, Sting is on his last leg, and he did confirm that he is retiring at Revolution. But
we never did find out why the Stinger was at Survivor Series 2014.
But why is Stinger here?
Why is the Stinger here? We never found out.
We never found out, did we? He's here to take Triple H down, and that was it.
Yeah, he didn't do it.
So this is kind of where the match gets a little bit like discombobulated for me. Christian is on the outside. Ric Flair just decides to stick his nose into this business like he's a total bastard heel, just like he was in the Ruthless Aggression era, and he just decides to like get up in Christian's face, you know, and it's
and
like
he starts punching him right in front of the ref.
No,
Where's my DQ?
Yeah.
Where's my DQ?
Or where's the ejection? Get Ric Flair out of the building. But Christian
Cage sure ejected him.
Yeah, Christian Cage, like the valiant superhero, nails Ric Flair right in the dick because he fucking deserves it, you know?
I mean, his name is Dick Flair.
Yeah. Christian tries to hit.
Christian Cage is the heel.
I mean, he is constantly making jokes about people having dead fathers too. So, in any case, Adam Copeland, don't tell Christian you have a father. But
yeah, that's the biggest piece of advice I can give to anybody. Don't tell Christian Cage that you have a father.
Yeah. Adam Copeland moves out of the way from Christian's attempted TNT title attack. Christian accidentally hits Luchasaurus. Copeland sees Christian with a smoking gun in his hand. Christian hightails it out of the arena. Copeland hits Luchasaurus with a spear, and he pins him. I love Copeland. I love Edge, but here's my thing. If this was going to be Darby Allin's last match before he attempts to climb Mount Everest, maybe let Darby get the win here. Like, is there anything wrong? Well, actually, no. Copeland hit a spear. Sting hit the Scorpion Death Drop. And then Darby hit a coffin drop. And then Copeland was the one who got the pin. Why not just let Darby pin the guy?
Yeah, because I guess Copeland was the legal man. But we've seen constantly, you know, what tag teams do. They'll tag out and then they'll tag right back out. So the guy they want to do the move is the legal man. But yeah, I think that was my only issue with the match. You know, come to think about it, because this is Sting's last match in LA, but this is probably Darby Allin's last match, period.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I mean, then, Darby Allin, if this is your last match, thank you for constantly putting your body on the line for us when you did not have to.
It was nice knowing you, man. After the match, Darby Allin gets on the mic and says, "Give it up for Sting. This is his last fucking match in Southern California."
He actually says that on pay-per-view. You know?
That's almost as great as, "Give me a fucking mic."
Give me a fucking mic.
Darby Allin. I'm gonna give this 3.5 stars. This was a really.
I'm matching it. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun for an opener, but yeah, I mean, I have some nitpicks with it, and yeah, Flair did not need to be there, and him like not being the cause of a disqualification is something that'll really rub people the wrong way. But it was good. I enjoyed it. But yeah, Sting basically takes his final bow. But do we want to talk about this AEW World Title announcement now, or do we want to get to the next match?
Yes, let's get it out of the way now, because you know what? When I saw it, you know, I will admit a lot of things go over my head, and when a lot of people pointed this out, it made me go, "Yeah, you're right." So Jay White comes out, and I find it very weird when wrestling does this. The Ass Boys took out MJF, so Tony Schiavone says MJF is not cleared to compete tonight. He's at the hospital. So he's about to award Jay White with the AEW World Title out of default. But how come when the heels do something heinous like this, like take out the babyface, injure them, they get rewarded with the world title?
Yeah, how come they're not punished?
Yeah, if I'm Tony Khan, I come out there and say like, no, motherfucker, that's not how this works. Not only are you not getting a shot, not only are you not getting this world title, you are suspended indefinitely for injuring my champion. And
without pay. Without pay. You know, like, and Jay White had nothing to do with that injury also. So if nothing else,
he orchestrated
it, but the Ass Boys were the ones who actually performed it. So, like, I would at least go ahead.
Right before, you know, Tony Schiavone literally handed the title to Jay White. Well, he already had the title. And he's about to say, "Your new AEW World Champion." Adam Cole's music hits. Adam Cole comes out and he says, "No, you are going to, the title is going to be on the line tonight, and I'm going to be your opponent." So let me get this straight. The man who got taken out earlier in the show, getting his knee smashed with the steel chair, He cannot defend his title. But the man that broke his ankle in 3 places, who is on crutches right now, can?
Yeah. So, yeah. What kind of doctors does AEW have? I mean, this is the same group of doctors that allowed Broken Matt Hardy to continue after smacking his head on the concrete in that Last Man Standing match. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah. I mean,
but Matt said he could continue. You know what? If I smack my head on the concrete, I'd probably say I want pizza with, I don't know, a horse meat on it. You don't listen to someone when they're concussed.
no, you don't. You don't. But yeah, so just to reaffirm this point, MJF, the guy with a scripted fake injury, is not cleared to compete. But Adam Cole, the guy with a legitimate ankle injury, is cleared to compete.
Who makes the decisions around here?
Where's the logic in that?
This isn't going to happen. What's going to happen? Out of morbid curiosity, I'm like, what's going to happen? This is very weird. I would literally watch the rest of the pay-per-view. I'm like, why did we hype up MJF versus Jay White for a month? And now that we're actually on the pay-per-view, we're getting Jay White and Adam Cole? That just doesn't make any sense. And then it dawned on me, you know damn well MJF is going to come out. He's going to wrestle. But why go through the trouble of this? What was the purpose of this?
Why make a whole match graphic with Adam Cole in MJF's place and then just show that to the viewers the entire show as if MJF was not showing up? Like, I don't know, man. I really don't know. But
so stay tuned. You know, props to AEW for trying to make a storyline that went the entire pay-per-view, but this was so unnecessary. The match built itself over the past month. You don't need any of this last-minute chicanery.
Yes.
You want to talk about convoluted? This next match for the AEW International title,
really?
Cassidy is defending against Jon Moxley. How the fuck did we get here?
Oh, you're talking about the build. I was like, the match itself I didn't really think was convoluted. It felt pretty straightforward to me. But yeah, you want to talk about how we got here?
Yeah, let's go back to Wrestle Dream in the main event, where Orange Cassidy lost the AEW International title to Jon Moxley.
All out.
It was.
You said Wrestle Dream.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're right. Was the international title even defended at Wrestle Dream?
No. No. Ray Phoenix was the international champion at Wrestle Dream, and he got hurt in that 4-way tag match at Wrestle Dream. Remember that?
So yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for the correction. So
it's all good.
won the title from Orange Cassidy. A few weeks later, he defends the title against Ray Phoenix at Grand Slam. They botch a pile driver spot, which knocked Moxley loopy to the point where he can't respond. Phoenix hits a pile driver, and they call an audible to end the match right there because Moxley is hurt. The greatest referee in the world, Rick Knox, counts 1, 2, and it just doesn't count. Okay. And let me play devil's advocate for just 1 second. They ripped this guy a new one. They ripped his heart out, chewed it up, and spit it back out.
Did not deserve it.
Yes, he did deserve it. But I don't like that wrestling fans were acting like this is the first time this has ever happened. Because this has happened so many times in WWE. And how come we are not crucifying those guys for doing it, but in this one instance, we are?
Good question. That's a really good question.
With that being said, they call an audible, put the title on Phoenix, and then Phoenix gets injured at Wrestle Dream.
Starting to think that this international title is cursed.
So they call another audible, and they put the title back on Orange Cassidy. So here we are, we come full circle, and I am thinking, you know what, they probably want to put the title on Moxley and continue there. But after watching the build to this and kind of, appreciating the story they were telling, Orange Cassidy might as well be international champion for the next year because...
Might as well. I mean...
made it very clear that they don't want to capitalize on people after they won titles because they put him in a tag team with fucking Hook the first time he lost it.
Yeah. Gives Orange Cassidy some purpose having him defend that title, and it's ironic. It actually gives him something to do when his gimmick is that he's lazy. It's
they were telling
it's great.
A very interesting story going into this rematch. Like I've said before, if you're going to do a rematch, make it more interesting than the first. And it's that Orange Cassidy's orange punch has no effect on Jon Moxley. He no-sold it in a tag team match. And now Orange Cassidy is doubting himself if his bread and butter is actually going to take down John Moxley. So I thought that was a very interesting story going into this match.
Yeah.
And you know, I think I enjoyed this match a lot more than other people did because they did something in this match I really appreciated. They told a story.
Yeah, no, these guys, I don't think this match was better than their all-out main event installment, but this is still a damn fine chapter in their rivalry, I think. I think these guys have developed really good chemistry with one another from as many times as they've worked this past fall. Moxley was definitely the dominant heel, brawler, even though the fans love singing Wild Thing and all that. Moxley was definitely the de facto heel between these two.
Oh, he had to be.
He had to be.
Right back to being a babyface.
Had to be. Moxley bleeding like 5 minutes into the match, because of course he is.
Did he need to?
You know, he did not need to bleed. He really did not need to bleed. If this did not have like some sort of like hardcore stipulation, I don't think he needed to bleed at all.
It's getting annoying. It's getting very annoying at this point.
Yes.
It's a meme within the wrestling community now. Moxley has the, to quote Stalla Monster, I'm sure John Moxley saw that Texas Death Match and went, damn, why can't I be in that?
Oh, we'll get to that one. And I'm sure we'll spend an hour just on that match alone. So, Orange Cassidy also did apply the Tasmission that Hook uses on John Moxley at some point. It's the same move. Moxley. Hey, stolen finishers, by the way, one of my favorite tropes. Orange Cassidy,
from a guy that wasn't even in the match.
Yeah, speaking of, Orange Cassidy, because the Orange Punch does not hurt John Moxley, he decides to hit Roman Reigns' Superman Punch on him instead, and then he hits a second Superman Punch, a third Superman Punch with a roll up, near fall, Orange Punch for the fourth Superman Punch, fifth Superman Punch, sixth Superman Punch, and then for some reason, like, it doesn't really fit the theme that Orange Cassidy was going for with Roman Reigns' moveset, but he hits John Moxley with his beach break maneuver, and Orange Cassidy hooks a leg and he gets a pinfall on John Moxley, retaining the international title. 12-minute match, didn't go as long as their all-out main event. It was kind of like, I don't want to say it was cut in half. I'd have to look that up, but...
You think they overdid it with the orange punches?
I mean, if they overdid it with the orange punches, they also overdid it with Superman punches and F5s in the WrestleMania 34 main event. So
absolutely they did. 100% they did. Do you think... Because I am kind of in this mindset that we need to go back to protecting finishers a lot more. And it's hard to do that when you had to, people are going to sit there and bitch and whine and moan that Seth Rollins hit 8 curb stomps on the Fiend inside Hell in a Cell. When his whole gimmick is being a supernatural monster.
Well,
so I actually defended it there. So we need to
give AEW credit for this one. The Orange Punch is kind of like, if we're talking SmackDown versus Raw terms, I would say that that's a signature maneuver. I don't want to say that's Orange.
Agree, but when he's been winning 95% of his matches with it, and he rarely does beach break anymore.
Yeah, but has anybody ever kicked out of a beach break?
I'm sure they have. It's AEW we're talking about.
Yeah, but on that same logic, John Moxley did not kick out of the beach break here, right?
Yeah, correct.
Did John Moxley hit a paradigm shift or a Death Rider in this match?
No.
So I feel like it's a little bit... I'm going to respectfully disagree with you on this front. I think it's too soon to just assume that AEW is not really protecting people's finishers. But, I mean, I see what you're saying.
Let's go back to Raw on Monday. How many people have you seen kick out of the Claymore? Almost nobody, right?
Right.
Very rarely. Mm-hmm. McIntyre beat Jey Uso with the Future Shock DDT. When's the last time he won a match with the Future Shock? That is a signature.
Yeah.
That shocked me.
Well, same thing. The Orange Punch is a signature. If like, I don't know, like if we're talking about overall devastation of the opponents and just wiping them out, like I feel like an Orange Punch would put someone like down for the count way less frequently than a beach break.
No, I'm just saying, if McIntyre wins 99% of his matches with the Claymore, that's his finisher, right?
Yeah.
So Orange Cassidy has been winning 99% of his matches with the Orange Punch. He has not used beach break in a long time. So honestly, it's like they kind of swap it up. I see when wrestling companies do that, and it's kind of annoys me because they'll have a perfectly fine finisher, and then they'll have them do another move which isn't all that great, and then they win most of their matches with that.
Fair enough.
Honestly, it's what I feel about the Orange Punch.
I see what you're saying.
A lot more.
This is probably
McIntyre. I think the Claymore is sick, but if he started winning all of his matches with the Future Shock, I'd be like, oh, that's so 2009 of him.
Yeah. This is not the 2009 clean-shaven Drew McIntyre, that's for sure. But in any case, good match. I'm going to give it 4 stars. Actually, not a good match. It was an excellent match, I thought. I think they told a really good story. I'm going to match it 4 stars. I love the storytelling in this match. I just thought it was a nice pace. I'll give Tony Khan credit. He's kind of listening to the fans now. Not every match needs to be a spot fest. Mm-hmm.
And again, not every match needs to be tofu. You gotta, spice it up. You gotta put, make it flavorful. Make me care about this match. If War Games tomorrow was just 5 versus 5, people that had no beef whatsoever, it'd be like, yeah, I'm sure it'll be a good match, but there is blood going into that match that makes me so excited.
Except WWE isn't going to use blood in a War Games match, unfortunately. But anyway, 4 stars. Yeah, I really enjoyed this match. Up next, here we go. We have, oh man, I'm sure you're excited to talk about this next match. For the AEW Women's Championship, Hikaru Shida is defending again, yes, against Timeless Toni Storm. Yes. So Timeless Toni Storm, I feel like, is one of the most over and endearing new characters / gimmicks on the AEW roster. Toni Storm is basically amplifying the Marilyn Monroe persona we saw her as at Allin, and she's like amping it up to 1,000 with this. Like, her entrance is full on black and white. She's got like an old time Academy Award credit anthem as her theme song that she walks out to. She has a concierge, Luther, who actually has a tray of like goodies and like helps her out to the ring. Yeah, I'm gonna watch for the shoe for sure. But my problem with this is, like, Hikaru Shida's great, but do we really need to have this match again? Do we really need to see Shida versus Storm? I feel like it would have been so much more interesting if this was where Saraya lost the title. I don't think you needed to go, like, beat around the bush as much as you did.
Let's go through the timeline again. I want to say, 2 weeks before Allin, Hikaru Shida just randomly won the women's title from Toni Storm.
Yeah.
And then at Allin, Tony Khan just couldn't help himself, and Saraya became the women's champion. But Saraya can't wrestle every week. It's kind of a problem. That's like remember when Bret Hart won the United States title in 2010 just for the nostalgia?
Yeah.
Like they kept the title on Bret for like 2 months, but Bret vacated the title the very next week. So Saraya then drops the title, not to Toni Storm, but back to Hikaru Shida.
I think exactly what you're saying.
Saraya wrestled on Grand Slam. She wrestled Toni Storm.
Listen, it's exactly what you're saying. What you just said about War Games having a story this weekend, Shida versus Storm does not have as much of a story that Saraya versus Storm would have had.
Yeah.
That is the Outcasts imploding right there. That is Saraya putting over Toni Storm clean in the middle of the ring. Maybe not clean, because Toni Storm probably still would have cheated and used weapons like she did in this match. But, this match wasn't bad. It was fun because of Toni Storm's antics and her character, right?
I think my favorite spot was near the end of the match where she pulled out the shoe and she was going to hit Shida with the shoe, but it was great. Like, she walks to do the shoe and Aubrey Plaza just walks by, snatches the shoe out of her hand and puts it out of the ring. But while...
You mean Aubrey Edwards? You said Aubrey Plaza.
Wow, you know who I have on the mind.
Yeah. He's got movie stars on the mind.
I think I'm
what's next?
Parks and Rec after this.
What's next in a Timeless Toni Storm match? Audrey Hepburn? Yes, Aubrey Hepburn.
But Aubrey Edwards takes the shoe and then also puts the shoe in. Again, to quote Solomon Monster, Toni Storm pulled another shoe out of her ass. She clocks Shida with the shoe, but Shida kicks out there, and then
okay,
I don't understand.
Hold on, she hits Shida with the shoe, and Shida kicks out. That just kind of kills the shoe gimmick, doesn't it? You want to talk about
Tony
like
Khan wanting to have his cake and eating it too, because I liked the real finish to this match, but it's like.
No, I'm going to disagree. The real finish of this match I thought was a bit preposterous, because how does the referee not see that whole big platter sticking out of Toni Storm's britches when she hits the hip attack?
It reminded me of Bret Hart wearing the metal plate on his chest when he was
Sure, but like if Toni Storm were wearing if she were wearing full length tights that go down to her ankles, I would have been cool with that. But she was also wearing like fishnets. The referee could clearly see that there was a foreign object there. It's
so what we're referring to is, and it was a little convoluted in the setup there, because Shida is down in the corner and Toni Storm is setting up for Sweet Cheek Music. She goes to do it, but then immediately stops herself, runs back into the corner, starts futzing with her tights, and that's where we see that she put a metal plate in her tights, so a metal plate would hit Shida's face. She hits Sweet Cheek Music. She gets the pin, and she is the new AEW Women's World Champion.
Yeah.
Again, very convoluted setup. If this is point A and this is point B, this is what AEW likes to do.
They like to play connect the dots for no reason. But yeah, honestly, this was
WWE used to have, honestly.
This was, aside from the main event, probably the most predictable match on the show, with how over Toni Storm is and how over this timeless gimmick is. Like, this match was a foregone conclusion. Like, I love Hikaru Shida, and I love how great she has been for this AEW women's division. But Toni Storm is just way too freaking over with these people. And
have you, give her credit. She better get a fucking raise, because she was a pawn in this entire feud, which is ridiculous. Isn't she? And now she has more AEW women's titles than anyone on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like,
well, actually, I think her and Toni just tied the record with this match. I think they're both three-time women's champions. Yeah, Toni Storm is the second one, though. Those are the only two people that have ever done it.
The celebration was great, though. I'm very looking forward to seeing. Oh, we forgot to talk about Mariah May. Mariah May from Stardom is now a part of AEW, and her gimmick is going to be, I like to call it a combination of Damian Mizdow. Yes, I like to call it a combination of Damian Mizdow with The Miz.
Oh, God.
And Mickie James and Trish Stratus. She is this super fan that she's going to cling to Toni Storm, and I think it's going to be perfect. I think it's going to be not like a stunt double, but she's going to be the understudy. She's going to be Toni Storm's understudy, and then I feel like it's going to evolve into this psycho obsessiveness. So it's going to have that aspect from Mizdow, and it's going to evolve into a Mickie James, in my opinion. But again, I'm
excited.
Going to give credit here, because nowadays, and this is both in WWE and AEW, you get this brand new talent. AEW signs a brand new talent, or WWE brings up a new talent from NXT. I'm sorry, but if you just stick them in front of the crowd, you can't do your standard, oh, he's going to have a few squash matches, and then we'll maybe give him a United States title shot, or we'll give him a title shot off the bat, have them lose, they'll look great in defeat. No. You have to bring these people in with a plan already set for them. This Mariah May stuff, it's perfect. Because if you would have just debuted her on Rampage, and then she got a win, and then the next week she's already fighting for the title, she's going to poof into obscurity, But I think the best person I can just compare her to is JD McDonough. JD McDonough, fantastic wrestler, did his time in NXT. If they would have brought JD McDonough up with no fanfare, just put him out there with some jobbers, he would just been another heel on the roster. But they gave him a role. And now he's part of the biggest faction in WWE, and he's going to main event a pay-per-view tomorrow. So again, take your time with these people, have a game plan for them, and they will be over with the crowd a lot better if you just stick them in the ring and say, hey, look at this person. Cheer for them. Yeah. Why? Oh, they were in NXT UK. Not everybody watches NXT UK.
Yeah, better yet, imagine if they just brought up JD McDonough when he was the Cruiserweight champion on 205 Live. Like, not everybody watches 205 Live, even though he was holding that title. Like,
he would have been Future Endeavored a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, big time. Big time.
Again, that's why I say a guy like Braun Breaker, you better have a fucking plan for him when you call
him up. Braun Breaker.
So yeah, I think the Mariah May stuff is great. I think keep the title on Toni Storm for as long as possible.
Yeah.
There is a plethora of baby faces.
Milk that feud
with Toni Storm.
Milk that feud.
Again, AEW's doing it. WWE's doing it. They're taking these people that haven't got a lot of TV time, and they're developing them, which is great. Which is why I can't wait to talk about Sky Blue when we get to that match. People are getting over. This is a very interesting era in wrestling where it's like both promotions are like, let's take this person. Look, we already have a foundation. That's great. You ran Ring of Honor for 10 years. It's awesome. You have a cult following. That's awesome. But the general public doesn't know who you are. If I'm flipping through channels, if I'm just some Joe Schmo and I'm flipping through channels and I turn on AEW and I see Mariah May, I don't know who the fuck that is.
Yeah.
I might just change the channel. So we have a foundation there. It's great. Now just keep going from there. Start adding some stuff and it's going to be great. Keep it up, AEW and WWE.
Yeah, keep up this long-term booking. I love it. And like, if I was telling Tomas earlier, and I just slightly said this as a joke, but I also kind of meant it in the best way. Tomas should be hired as a booker somewhere, I feel like, because if someone lays out a Toni Storm Mariah May feud just like that, I think Tomas deserves a raise in some capacity.
I'm very flattered.
Yeah. But anyway.
Anything else before this next match?
No, I think this is just where we get the Eddie Kingston announcement where the Triple Crown title was hinted at. But yeah, let's get into the next match.
Next match is a 4-way ladder match for the AEW tag team titles. We have Enzo and Ricky Starks and Big Bill defending against La Faccion, in the great words of Bobby Cruz, Ingobernable, which is Bruce and Jarlistico, against FTR and the Kings of the Black Throne, which is Malachi Black and Brody King.
WWE bound what? Sorry, I'm getting over I'm getting over a really, really, really bad sore throat here, and I just had to get some out. If it was a black sore throat, I'd probably have cancer, and I need to go get that checked out. But
how the fuck did we get here? Starks and Bill are the tag team champions. FTR just decided they want to put them over, and you know what, Tony Khan, you got to stop letting all these wrestlers have so much creative input. Like, you got to pump the brakes a little, because this is one of those instances where you need to step in and say, like, that's a great... Okay, my director and Davis used to say this all the time. I always accept suggestions. Am I going to take them? No, but you can always give them to me. And I feel like that's the mindset you need to have. Yeah, you give me all the suggestions you want. Am I going to take them? No, but you can give them to me.
Exactly. It's like, if you let all of your wrestlers have creative freedom to just go out there and do whatever the hell you want, you end up with a little thing like WCW had, where everybody and their mother had creative control over there, and it was just a godforsaken hot mess towards the end.
You know what else my director used to say? Someone would go up to him and be like, "Hey, I have this idea." He's like, "Oh, that's a great idea." No.
Speaking of a great idea, look at Ricky Starks and Big Bill holding the tag team titles. This is a fucking random tag team, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is such a random tag team. It was built off of... Yeah.
I don't get the appeal in Big Bill. I don't get it.
Well, I've never gotten it. I've never understood the appeal. Ever. You know what's crazy? Ever since they split up Enzo Amore and Big Cass, ever since they split them up in 2017 and they let Big Cass go out and do his own thing, like, he has done nothing of note. Absolutely nothing. So I feel like he is a great hot tag guy in a babyface tag team, but that's his greatest strength. When he's on his own, forget about it.
We know we are in the minority. We know there are a whole bunch of people out there that are saying, "Oh, Big Bill is awesome. He's an awesome boss." All that. That's fine. I just don't get it. And, has he improved? Absolutely.
When you
Does
have...
he appeal to me? No.
When you have Brody King, when you have Miro, when you have Powerhouse Hobbs, when you have Wardlow, I can think of at least Samoa Joe. I can think of at least like 5 hosses that are better than Big Cass. Maybe even 10.
Big Bill.
Well, I mean, I I do that interchangeably. I'm sorry.
Would you be intimidated by a man named Big Bill?
No, because I would just ask him, hey, isn't your son Little Bill?
I'd be more intimidated by his son, because what he likes to do at nightclubs.
Yikes! Easy! Fucking chill! This is just a podcast. It was a great ladder match. It was a great freaking ladder match.
It gave me WrestleMania 33 vibes for some reason. I don't know, because you had Bill and Starks that remind me of Enzo and Cass for some reason. You have FTR that remind me of the Good Brothers for some reason. I don't know what it was.
But neither one of them are as big as Luke Gallows is.
No. But again, I don't know why. I was just watching this, like, I just couldn't stop thinking about the WrestleMania 33 match.
It's crazy. You know who the MVP of this match was Brody King.
Oh, absolutely he was.
Brody King was a fucking maniac in this match. He was cut open the hard way, and honestly, if you look at him blading like that and the blood is just pouring over his, like, creepy face paint, my God, get Rob Schomburger to actually paint that picture, because that is just, like, crazy visual right there.
Yeah, I will admit he had a fun little exchange with Bill, but then again, I think Brody King is a better host than Bill.
Easily.
I'm going to say that now. They did not deserve the meat chant.
No, they didn't deserve the meat chant like Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs did it all out.
Brody
but
did. I just don't get Bill. I don't think I ever will. I don't think I ever will.
Roosh and Dralistico were doing really great in this match, and I was the idiot who texted Tomas when LFI came out. Oh, I love Sin Cara.
That's Mystico.
Dralistico and Mystico. Just have Mystico join them.
You think Roosh is being his little brother right now?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Yeah. Maybe a little bit.
I'm gonna say Roosh had the same opportunity Dragon Lee did. He could have went to WWE with him.
Yeah, but he didn't do it.
I'm really mad that he didn't.
Didn't do it. Triple H is booking Dragon Lee in matches against Axiom. He's booking Dragon Lee in great tag team matches. Dragon Lee could be a great LWO member to replace Santos Escobar.
Yeah,
like
Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar is a match I fully expect to see very soon.
Don't taunt me with a good time. I can't wait to see that. I cannot wait to see that.
But yeah, I just look at Roosh and I just think wasted potential.
Yeah.
He was the longest reigning Ring of Honor World Champion, and now he's...
Yeah. FTR just felt like they were there in this match, except I don't know what it was.
What's that all about?
I really don't know what it was, but Cash Wheeler also like stumbled on the top rope a little bit before he hit a big splash on Brody King through a ladder, which is nuts. Absolutely crazy.
Brody, who was it? Was it Brody that gave Dralistico a fucking pile driver into a ladder?
Yep. The ladder didn't break.
Why there's so many concussions in wrestling?
You wonder. Yeah, you wonder. Yeah, this shit is not fake, guys. This shit is not fake. They go out there and they actually
crazy. And you know what? A little unnecessary. If you ask me.
Little bit.
Just a tad.
Little bit. Cash Wheeler jumps off the top with a superfly splash on Big Bill on the ladder bridge. Yeah, that's uncomfortable. Don't ever model yourself after the superfly, that's for sure. Black Mass on Dax Harwood. Cash knocks Black outside. Pretty anticlimactic ending, if you really think about it, because it just comes down to Cash Wheeler and Ricky Starks, who, remember, had a huge coming out party against Bryan Danielson at All Out, putting together a 5-star strap match with him. And I thought Ricky Starks was going to be propelled up to the main event level. He's in the tag team division. He's strapped with Big Bill, you know?
Yeah, out of a technicality, just because FTR, I mean, he's a champion. That's cool.
He is, but he should be a singles champion. He should be, like, maybe not the TNT champion, because Christian Cage should always... Champion. Yeah, international champion. Or, hell, you could give him a shot against MJF, and I would not be upset by that. I don't know if he beats MJF, but yeah.
Almost a year after the initial. title shot he got.
Oh. Whole different dynamic, right? Whole different 100%. Dynamic. But
I'm gonna give this 3 3/4 stars. I mean, I feel like if you've seen one multi-man ladder match, you've seen them all.
Yeah,
they didn't really do anything in this match that like it was a spot fest, and there was nothing wrong with that. And I love how in this match, just there's one thing if you take a big spot and then you sell. But I caught Rush and Dralistico outside of the ring, just no selling on the apron, just waiting for their spot to come in.
Yeah.
And it's like, kind of pulling back the curtain there a little.
Yeah, 3 3/4 stars for me. I don't know if it was just me. I don't know if you noticed this, but it felt like there were less attempts at actually climbing the ladder in this multi-man match than in like normal multi-man ladder matches. But the whole fucking point is to climb the ladder and get the titles. And it just felt like
several times I feel like LFI climbed the ladder, ignored the titles just to jump off of it.
It felt like those guys were just doing spots for the sake of doing spots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, like the whole point of it is not to basically be the flashiest. Like if the whole goal of this match was to pull off the craziest maneuver on your opponent, then yeah, this match probably would have easily gotten 4.5 stars. But when the point of the match is to climb the ladder and retrieve the titles, you didn't really have enough drama in there, And then once you get to the end and like one of the small handful of times that someone actually does climb the ladder, that's the point where you end it. Ricky Starks just punches Wheeler off the ladder and he reaches up and he wins. Like,
yeah. And you know what else I realized? LFI should be a bigger deal than they actually are.
They should. Yeah, they're not.
Especially with Andrade as their leader.
I mean, they're also heels. So they're not selling as much merch as, say, the LWO is. LWO is a very over babyface faction on SmackDown. So.
Oh no, I'm just saying on the card.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I feel like LFI would be a lot bigger of a deal if they weren't bad guys. Because
yeah.
I don't know. That's just my opinion. But
for sure.
Next up is actually a 3-way bout for the TBS Championship. You have the amazing Chris Statlander, who actually came out cosplaying as a Globo Gym Purple Cobra from Dodgeball, and I freaking marked out for that. It was playing directly off of her cosplay as Zoolander at All Out. I hope.
She's a movie buff, isn't she?
I think she's specifically a Ben Stiller fan. Like, I mean, I'd love to talk about Ben Stiller comedies with her at some point if I ever met her. But Statlander is defending in a 3-way bout against Julia Hart and Sky Blue, both of whom are House of Black members. Julia Hart definitely is, absolutely. But Sky Blue is sort of being courted by the House of Black. She's already got, like, the mist coming out of her eye. It's a really strange storyline. But
it's like what they're doing is, okay, I'm getting tired of the mist. Every fucking wrestler has to use the mist. The mist apparently is now hypnotizing people, and it's kind of like Julia Hart is making her own female House of Black, because she got Sky Blue kinda, and it looked like she was on her way to getting Willow Nightingale, but then Blue turned on Storm. So it's not Storm, I'm sorry, Julia. So it's just, again, AEW make up their fucking mind.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. I mean, I thought this match actually, in terms of quality out of both women's matches, I preferred this match, believe it or not. Because
this match surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah, Chris Statlander has been a phenomenal workhorse champion for this TBS title.
Why is it in the feud that Statlander, the champion, feels like an afterthought?
Because the story seems to be Julia Hart and Sky Blue, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but also at the same time, a triple threat is a way to have the champion lose without pinning the champion. They still want to make Chris Statlander look strong coming out of this match. He's been the TBS champion for 6 months at this point. And spoiler alert, Statlander does lose the belt here. So basically what happens is, Statlander hits the Saturday Night Fever on Sky Blue. Julia Hart clotheslines Chris out of the ring, out of sight, out of mind. Julia Hart picks up the scraps and pins Sky Blue after a 10-minute match, which I thought was quite good. I'm going to give it 3 stars. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it 3.5. I really enjoyed this match.
Really? Oh wow.
These three ladies, it was the workhorse ladies match of the night. A lot of great near falls. The crowd was really into it. Again, they made a character out of Sky Blue, which is really good. She went from being that girl on Rampage, the jobber, to actually being in a championship match on a pay-per-view. And let's talk about Julia Hart, who 2 years ago was a cheerleader for Griff Garrison and Lexis King, formerly known as Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah.
And now here she is with a brand new gimmick, over as fuck, the TBS champion.
So
this girl is 21 years old.
21. Yeah. That is the youngest champion in AEW history. Probably a record that is going to be standing for years and years and years.
So she has the dubious Brock Lesnar honor of being the youngest champion.
I'm so happy for her. I hope she does great things with this belt. And I told Tomas this, but I feel like out of that Varsity Blondes trio, I hate saying this, Julia Hart is very much like the Alexa Bliss of that trio. The Varsity, she shedded the Varsity Blondes off of her so quick, like Alexa Bliss shaved Blake and Murphy off of her, as fast as she could. It's pretty similar setup. The Varsity Blondes are like the Blake and Murphy of AEW history. It's crazy. And then you take Brian Pillman Jr. out of that equation. Griff Garrison, what's he doing right now? He's doing absolutely nothing. And
probably
Brian Pillman,
Lexis King, if he can get a job in WWE.
Yep, Brian Pillman Jr. has shedded his father's name. He is now known as Lexis King on NXT. He looks a lot like the Loose Cannon persona watching his father's old tapes. Lexis King looks awesome in the ring, and
he's already jaw-jacking with Carmelo Hayes. That's fucking great.
Lexis King, mark my words, Lexis King is freaking money. He will
be NXT champion.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. I'm pulling for Lexis King so freaking much. I'm pulling for him to succeed in WWE like nobody else. I want him to ascend.
Julia Hart. Honestly, this is so happy for her.
Mm-hmm.
Again, 2 years ago she was a little bubbly cheerleader, and now she is the second biggest champion of the second biggest wrestling company in the country. So that's fucking awesome.
Yes. Oh boy.
Yes. Oh boy.
We're at we've come to that time. Actually, before the next match is where we get the big contract signing announcement. Tony Khan was all over Twitter, basically touting, "Hey, I have a big announcement. I have a big signing coming in at Full Gear. It's Will Ospreay. This is a well-respected wrestler world over. It's Will Ospreay. He's coming to All Elite Wrestling. Will Ospreay. Lo and behold, Tony Schiavone is in the ring, and he's like, let's welcome the newest talent to AEW, and sure as hell, Will Ospreay's music hits, and Tomas's heart, I'm sure, shattered, because he wanted Will Ospreay to go wrestle Seth Rollins, but...
Yeah, I did, but okay, let me get all my thoughts about this right now. Big pickup by AEW. Will Ospreay is here. He better be a main event player, because he will be the best wrestler in the world, and you know what? It's hard to argue that. When you got guys like Bryan Danielson and AJ Styles slowing down, someone's got to take their throne as the best in the world. And Seth Rollins and Will Ospreay are kind of on the cusp of taking that throne. So getting Ospreay is huge. Here are my issues with that. He's not mainstream enough. I'm kidding. I'm making fun of all the Twitter trolls.
Yikes!
Is more anxiety than anything. Number one, it wasn't that surprising to me, because we've seen Will Ospreay wrestle in AEW a handful of times. So he's familiar-ish to the AEW crowd. He had the big feud with Kenny Omega, feud with Chris Jericho. It's not like this is Will Ospreay's first time stepping foot into an AEW ring.
No.
So
I
get it.
We just saw him at Forbidden Door. Ospreay already has one of the best AEW matches this year. Yeah, we just saw him at All Out. Was it All Out? No, he wrestled at Wrestle Dream in that 6-man. It's not like he's a brand new name to AEW audiences, but with this contract, he becomes AEW exclusive. So he did say in this promo that he was finishing up his dates with New Japan, one of which is Battle in the Valley in San Jose. And honestly, just hearing about that, I'm very tempted to go, mainly because that's going to be one of Will Ospreay's last times in New Japan, and I've always wanted to see him work live. So that might be enough to convince me to go.
My anxiety kind of roots from Tony Khan has so much talent on his hands. And then you look at Keith Lee, you look at Jay White, you look at all these other guys he got, and he's going to bring Will Ospreay in. Like, I hope he prioritizes Will Ospreay. I know there are so many people, Miro, you know, and there's a name that comes to mind. It's just like, I get it. You want this big signing because it's a good point to be made. If Will Ospreay is available, you'd be stupid not to offer him something, to not try to get him. I am just nervous. I just hope they do him good.
Tony Khan probably gave him his mansion in Jacksonville in order to get Will Ospreay to sign.
Because get this, apparently it's being reported that yes, WWE did offer Will Ospreay. They offered him the World Heavyweight Championship, and it's crazy to think that Tony Khan actually had the better offer for him.
Yeah.
But apparently one of the big things Will Ospreay said is that he does not want to move his family from the UK. And apparently a part of this deal, he's not being required to move. But good on Will Ospreay. I'm glad that he had the pick of the litter because he had to hire an agent to do this signing for him. And you do want to hear all offers. And again, at the end of the day, whatever is best for Will Ospreay, I just hope they do him right.
Mm-hmm. Really, 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 really hoping for all the success for Will Ospreay in AEW. Hope that he's a champion sooner rather than later. You can't put a championship on everybody. And oh my God, after this next match, one of the combatants has to be a world champion next year. He has to be.
Boy.
Has to be.
Death match. It is the rematch from Wrestle Dream. It is Hangman Adam Page going one-on-one against Swerve Strickland.
Can I bury the lead? This is the match of the night. And I am somebody who does not like Texas Death / Last Man Standing stipulation matches very much. Boy, howdy. Yeah, this match is probably one of the most violent matches I've ever seen. Tomas made the analogy. We saw Moxley and Hangman in a Texas Death match live. This match made the Moxley match look like 2009 WWE. Like,
it did.
It's crazy what they did here.
We were 5 minutes into the match and I already wanted to puke. And this was a half-hour-long match.
30 glorious minutes of violence.
Swerve Strickland had a damn near close WrestleMania-esque entrance. I loved it. He had a bunch of backup dancer girls dancing to I forgot what the song is called. His entrance music, basically. With Prince Nana leading it, which is fucking great. I have great things to say about Prince Nana. Swerve Strickland makes his way to the ring, and Hangman Page immediately attacks from behind. The match is on.
Aww.
They don't waste any time in this match whatsoever getting to the violence. Hangman Page pulls out a staple gun. Oh my God.
Fucking Christ.
I did a show where we were doing the set, and a girl accidentally stapled her thumb with the staple gun, and she had to get it all bandaged up. Her thumb was out of commission for like several days, and here they are using this in the first 5 minutes of the match. I guess Hangman and Page got the running sheet from the announce table, and he stapled that to Swerve Strickland. He grabbed a finger painting from one of his children, and he stapled it to his face.
Stapled it to his cheek.
Yeah, stapled it to his cheek, and then here's where the spot comes. Strickland is hanging off of the ropes, and Hangman Adam Page gets underneath him and drinks his blood. What the fuck?
Drinks his blood Abdullah the Butcher style, spits out the blood Triple H style. The crowd immediately chants "You sick fuck" at the Hangman. And honestly,
I feel like to earn that chant. And Page fucking earned that chance.
I mean, he drank the blood. Yeah. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, this match, you could tell it was personal because, from Wrestle Dream, which was a great match onward, this is how you amplify a personal feud and try and improve it upon the last match in the last chapter. Basically, Swerve up to this point has secured a home invasion angle as well. He went to Hangman's house and he was insulting Hangman's family. Hangman basically said he was going to kill him. This is a Texas death match, and boy howdy, Hangman definitely tried to do some cowboy shit and kill him, with a staple gun, stapling into his chest. Stapled into his chest first, stapled into his arms, and it got to a point where Swerve just stopped selling the staples in the chest. And then he looks at Hangman, he hits him with a move, he grabs the staple gun himself, and then he starts stapling his chest. And he has this sick smile on his face. And I'm like...
And in case anybody thinks, oh, the staple gun probably wasn't loaded, they were just, no, I saw the staples hanging from just lodged in Strickland's face. You saw the staples lodged inside Strickland's chest. So, man, this was some deathmatch shit.
Those were not gimmicks. Those were not gimmicked at all. Absolutely disgusting. But yeah. And believe it or not, the match gets even more violent. There's a barbed wire chair that's brought into the mix, and
we get a reverse Death Valley driver from Strickland to Hangman on top of a fucking cinder block.
Yeah.
Spiked him. Straight up spiked him.
Nails Hangman in the head with that barbed wire steel chair, and there's a barbed wire string that actually gets caught in Hangman's mouth, and I'm like, fuck, man. Just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting visuals.
There was a point where Hangman wrapped Swerve Strickland around in the barbed wire, so he was constricted by it, and then I think he hit him with the buckshot lariat after that. Oh my god, this was absolutely brutal. And then just when you think it's all done there, I was waiting for it. I was like, okay, when are the thumbtacks going to get brought into play? Hangman brings out a bag. It's the Abyss special. It's not thumbtacks. It's shattered glass.
Yeah.
He pours. Strickland pours the glass on Hangman's back, and then he goes to the top for a 450 splash on top of the glass.
Stupid. Yeah. This match is the epitome of don't try this at home. Swerve hits a Swerve... Swerve powerbomb on the barbed wire chair. Swerve with a Swerve stomp on the Hangman on the barbed wire chair. Just... Golly. Just...
And just when you think it's going to be the end, Hangman wraps the barbed wire around his arm, hits a lariat, and you're thinking, that's got to be the end. That was a gruesome spot. Prince Nana earned his weed tonight, and he pulls Strickland out at the very last second to save him from losing the match. Hangman chases Prince Nana to the outside, grabs him by the scruff, brings him up to the ring apron. Nana tries to save himself by doing the little dance. Hangman then nails Nana with a deadeye through a table.
Yeah.
Man, Prince Nana is a fucking national treasure, and for him to take a spot at that age is insane.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. And you said this on the Wrestle Dream pod. Swerve is the type of guy who doesn't really need a mouthpiece, but in this case, him and Prince Nana go together perfectly. They are
butter and jelly.
They're a match made in heaven. In this case, it's a match made in hell because it's a Texas death match. But don't forget Hangman hitting a deadeye on Swerve onto the fucking barbed wire chair.
Yes.
Jeez, and that bird's eye visual that you get after that deadeye, I'll never forget it as long as I live. It looks like a fucking crime scene. You have the deadeye, you have Swerve just laid out. His head is wedged inside a barbed wire steel chair. Hangman is crawling in a pool of his own blood to try and get back up at the count of 7 or 8 whenever he got back up. But yeah, this match
is where a damn near perfect match doesn't get ruined, but it gets totally fucked up unnecessarily.
I will. Yeah, go ahead.
After the Deadeye spot, or was it before the Deadeye spot? I actually can't remember now. I think it was after the Deadeye spot. Brian Cage of the Mogul Embassy rushes the ring. This match did not need interference.
No.
He starts beating the shit out of Hangman. He buckle bombs him. He goes for drill claw, or I think he goes for a chair spot, but Hangman Adam Page is able to get out of the way. Oh no, he also takes an F500, but then Hangman Adam Page is able to fight them off. He hits a I think he hits Brian Cage with the steel chair. And that's where my biggest issue comes from this match, because it just adds to the stigma that Swerve Strickland cannot beat Hangman Adam Page on his own. And this was not a match that needed interference. It just really rubbed me the wrong way. I get it. Swerve Strickland is part of a faction.
But even then,
has nothing to do with that.
Even then, Swerve is like bleeding everywhere. I don't know how much blood this guy lost. And if you're wondering, yes, Swerve Strickland is the guy I was just referring to. I think Swerve Strickland, because of his performances in this feud with Hangman, I want them to put the world title on Swerve next year, because I feel like that guy has earned it. He deserves it. He comes off like a star. Like, he comes off like one of the biggest deals in the company right now, even with that entrance, with Prince Nana, with that theme song, with the Swerve's house callback from the crowd. Like, that guy is oozing charisma at every which way. And who would have thought that out of the tag team he was in a couple years ago, that he would be the Shawn Michaels and Keith Lee would be the Jannetty? Who would have thought?
Crazy.
It's absolutely nuts.
This is a case where I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Swerve Strickland is actually used better here than he ever would have in WWE.
Yeah, he doesn't need Hit Row. I was wrong. I'm glad to admit I was wrong. Swerve does not need Hit Row. Hit Row needs Swerve. So
yeah, and just the finish of this match was pretty brutal. Swerve Strickland grabs a chain, and Hangman lived up to his gimmick. He hung Adam Page from the steel post and basically choked him out.
Literally killed him.
Almost beat the count, but he's not able to do it. Swerve Strickland wins the match. I would feel it would be an insult to both performers if I did not give this 5 stars. Even with the unnecessary interference, which did hurt it. I will say, I would call this a perfect match if it wasn't for the interference.
Yeah, I gave this match 5 stars also. If it weren't for the interference, I would be going like 6 stars, my ridiculous 1,000,000-star rating that I've given a couple of matches on here. Because, and here's the thing, the strap match at All Out between Danielson and Starks also had interference pretty unnecessarily, and I feel
like it was more justified there.
Yeah, I gave that match 5 stars also, though.
Because I gave that match 5 stars. So I feel like it was more justified there. But here, this was like the definition of a grudge match. And Brian Cage didn't need to be there.
But I don't know. I mean, this is definitely one of AEW's best matches all year. It's probably the most violent match they've ever done. The fact that, you know, these guys were just shooting fireworks at each other for about 30 minutes. I mean, the only thing missing was Hangman pulling out a revolver and literally trying to shoot Swerve in the leg. Like, goodness. Or fire. Or a fireball. Or a fireball.
Hulk Hogan's fireball from Halloween Havoc.
God. Yeah, no. I don't think they want to risk that. But, Swerve has beaten Hangman now 2 straight pay-per-views, by hook or by crook. And damn me if Swerve is not crowned AEW World Champion next year, because, I mean, he's my pick right now to dethrone MJF, man. I don't know. Like,
he's officially my new favorite wrestler in AEW.
Yeah. He's like a... I love Swerve. I know I've loved Swerve like ever since I first laid eyes on him when he was part of 205 Live. And the fact that he's elevated himself to this level of magnificence. Like, he's the man. He is the realist. He's the man. Put the title on him, Tony. Please, I beg you.
Fucking awesome.
5 stars. But yeah, it honestly, here's the thing, Tomas. I know you're sitting there with a begrudging look on your face, but here's the thing. Let's be completely fair. Let's be fair. Anybody who was tasked with following the Texas Death Match was being given a hefty assignment. But we have the Golden Jets, Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, probably the most random tag team I've seen since Y2AJ, going up against the Young Bucks. Basically, the stipulation is if the Golden Jets lose, they must disband as a team quicker than Y2AJ, mind you. But if the Golden Jets win, then they get the Young Bucks tag team title shot. And Tomas is like, who the fuck cares? That's basically what he's saying.
Huh? Well, I'm sorry.
The gold.
I refuse to call them the Golden Jets.
The Golden Jets and the Young
Not every
Bucks.
single tag team needs a fucking name, Tony Khan. Jesus Christ.
Well, that's basically him masking the facts that Omega and Jericho are a random tag team, right?
So, Young Bucks won a tag team title shot at the last pay-per-view, just to put it on the line here. For what reason?
So we didn't have to see them wrestle FTR again.
So the storyline behind this is, Young Bucks bad. They're kicking people in the balls again. I did not give two flying fucks about this match. I do not care about the story. I cannot believe we've gotten to a point where you have nothing for Kenny Omega.
I thought it was an excellent match, though. I really did. I mean, Omega and the Bucks. You put Omega and the Bucks in some sort of tag team. Remember Omega and Page against the Young Bucks at Revolution 2020, right before the pandemic? That was a fucking awesome match, right? You remember that?
It was good. It was good. It was when the Bucks were fresh.
Oh boy, yeah. And now, what did you say before we started this podcast? The Young Bucks have go away heat.
They do.
They do. Even though you should be thanking them for ridding AEW of CM Punk.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you don't like them. The enemy is my friend.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. The Bucks.
Yeah, don't really care for the young cucks.
Yeah, the young cucks. I mean, I will give them credit because it does feel like this is a more unique Young Bucks match than we've seen. We don't have, like, flippy dippy shit everywhere. Like, they don't hit a Meltzer driver in this match anywhere.
Indie Taker.
Indie Taker! they have Excalibur on commentary.
Named after him.
Yeah. Meltzer doesn't need a move named after him. No. But Jericho was the heat guy in this.
He was.
Yeah. Nick Jackson also hit a Judas effect on Chris Jericho at one point in this match, which I marked for. Hey, it's a stolen finisher.
Fucking whooped.
It's a stolen finisher. Bucks with a BTE trigger on Jericho. Omega, like, the whole gimmick is, so Omega is going to help the Bucks since they're the elite, they're the trio that just held the titles earlier this year, and now he's feuding against them. Is he going to help them, or is he going to help his new friend Chris Jericho? He decides to help Chris Jericho. He hits, he hits, it's a 20-minute match. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, it's just really good wrestling.
Fucking 20 minutes.
He hit the one-winged angel on Matt for the pinfall. And again, that's a very protected finisher. It's very rare to have somebody kick out of the one-winged angel. And the Golden Jets win. They don't have to disband, and they get the tag team title shot that the Young Bucks had. They're throwing a Christian Cage level 2002 pissy fit on the outside, kicking the steel steps. They're throwing their shoes into the crowd. Hopefully they didn't have thumbtacks glued to the bottom of them.
I hope not.
I really hope.
It is being reported that, I don't know if this is kayfabe or not, but Matt and Nick are taking some time off to recharge from pro wrestling. And you know what? This is a better time than ever to do it. There's really nothing for them. And the crowd has kind of grown sour to them. So go home. Take care of what you need to take care of.
Spend your holidays. Enjoy your holidays.
I'm sure they'll get a massive pop when they return, or maybe they won't. I don't know. I've always just been indifferent to the Young Bucks, so more power to them.
Yeah. I mean, this match, I thought it was very impressive considering the fact that they followed the Texas Death Match and they still put on a pretty darn good match. But
3 3/4.
3 and what?
2 3/4.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a fair enough rating. Did I enjoy this more than the ladder match? No. Again, it's gonna come down to what you like. If you like the junk food Young Bucks wrestling, you're not gonna get that here. I think if you're a hardcore Young Bucks fan, if you know everything about them, you're probably gonna be disappointed in this match. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and at least give them their props for trying something different in one of their matches, But
yeah, if you're a fan of the Young Cucks, you might be disappointed in this. And I will never call them and Hangman Adam Page the Hung Bucks. I'll never call them that.
The hung bucks. No, isn't that just a deer's head that's on your wall? Isn't that a hung buck?
Oh, you mean naive person, you.
I'm sorry.
Oh boy. Okay.
We're at the main event now, aren't we?
Here we go. Like we talked about, apparently it's going to be Adam Cole versus Jay White for the AEW World Championship. But they make their way to the ring. Nobody is stopping Cole. They get into the ring. They make the ring announcements. And then, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, here's the ambulance. It's MJF. Apparently, he stole the ambulance.
He's commandeered the ambulance just like Stone Cold because MJF is a babyface, remember?
Kind of a federal offense to steal an ambulance, but okay.
Yeah.
Just called an Uber. He hobbles his way to the ring. He demands to be put in the match. So was it any, to the surprise of nobody, MJF is actually in this match. Credit where credit was due. This was an excellent match.
Oh, I love this match.
Barry was very reminiscent of like a 2003-2004 like WWE pay-per-view main event where the heel was in major control of the match. They focused on the body part, and I thought they told an excellent story in this match when it came to the knee. I
feel like it was closer to like I think 2004 WWE main event is kind of being like not as nice to it. I feel like I'd liken it more to like an 01-02 WWE main event, like one of those throwbacks.
Fair enough. I just feel like it was excellent storytelling without the match. It wasn't a spot fest, except for a couple of spots where I was just like, oh my God, let's get to those spots now. For some fucking reason, MJF thinks it's okay to do a running cutter over the top rope.
Oh my God!
What the fuck? That was so dangerous.
Before that actually happens, MJF was going to do a big, gigantic announce table spot because the announce table's at ringside now because they're trying to be WWE according to the WWE tribalists. So he puts Jay White on. So he puts the Bang Bang Gang's leader on the table, and he basically, I said it just for you. He puts Jay White on the table, and the table just collapses. And keep in mind, Jay White is not a gigantic individual. Jay White is probably about, I don't know, maybe 210, 220 on a good day. And the table completely caves in beneath Jay White. So MJF basically decides, fuck this table, I'm going to do the spot anyway. This is so preposterous. He climbs up to the top rope. He delivers a Shane McMahon-like elbow drop, which would have been through the announce table. But Jay White
to MJF. That was a fuck ton more prettier elbow drop than Shane.
It was a prettier elbow drop, but Shane McMahon always pulled that spot off. Like that was a spot that Shane McMahon did every single time. But MJF decides to do it here. It's a beautiful looking elbow drop there. But
dangerous as fuck though.
Yeah, because Jay White is on the arena floor, which is only covered by about 6 inches of like mat there. And it's just concrete underneath. Dumb.
And considering it's a farther drop to the floor than it is to the ring, holy shit. You know that Charles Robinson once suffered a collapsed lung because Macho Man Randy Savage gave him the elbow?
Yeah. I read somewhere that MJF actually left this match with a few nagging injuries. I wonder why. This spot right here is probably the biggest culprit there.
The cutter, though. Oh my God. MJF just on a whim ran to Jay White. He was standing on the apron. He leapt over the ring apron, over the ropes, and delivered a cutter. And surprise, surprise, that fucked up MJF's knee.
Yeah, he jumps over the top rope, hits Jay White with an RKO out of nowhere, and MJF is starting to sell the kneel. He should talk to our buddy QT Marshall about that, about not having to steal the cutter, right?
Cutter?
Yeah. And that was
Did you lose it like your pants?
Yikes! Easy. Just wait on that. But yeah, no, this is. It's definitely got those like Attitude Era flavors of those old school main events where you have the interference. It should be noted that the Ass Boys also accompanied Jay White out to ringside, and the first part of the match, Jay White is basically continuously throwing MJF out after MJF does his big babyface flurry at the start of the match, which, yes, does include a kangaroo kick, which I mark out for every time. So the big story is...
Why does he do a kangaroo kick?
Why not?
And he doesn't even look like a kangaroo when he does it.
He looks like a chipmunk, doesn't he? He looks like a chipmunk scumbag when he delivers.
So he's not doing a kangaroo kick.
It's alliterative. It makes it sound more formal.
AEW fans are so primitive; they'll pop for anything.
Hey, I popped for the kangaroo kick. I don't care. MJF is my scumbag. So basically, I'm surprised I said MJF makes his big babyface flurry, and you didn't get like.
He's not a babyface.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Did you hear? Did you hear the crowd cheer for him?
So they cheer for a lot of heels.
Did you see him ride in on the ambulance? No heel would ever do that.
A lot of people are babyface and then turn on a dime.
Yeah, but MJF is not Paul White, so I don't see him turning heel anytime soon.
You say that now.
Adam Cole is going to be the one to turn. Adam Cole is going to be the one to turn.
Is the devil.
MJF is beating up himself. No, I doubt that.
The devil never beat up MJF.
I doubt that. I doubt it. We'll see. But yeah, so because MJF is a babyface, he's getting thrown to the outside, and the heels are all ganging up on him. Basically, the whole big crux of this first part of the match is Jay White throwing MJF to the outside, and he is feeding MJF to the ass boys, literally. He's distracting Bryce Remsburg in the ring. And the ass boys are going to do the same thing that they did during the 0 hour, where they don't Pillmanize MJF's knee, but they try to take him out of commission again. Bryce Remsburg catches Austin with a smoking gun in his hands, and he's like, you, whoa, he sends him out, and the crowd, like, massive pop, and you see everybody, like, point to the showers, and the ass boys have been ejected, and, like, that's just a spot you never see anymore.
But then Don Callis and Prince Nana have proved that you don't have to leave.
Only in world title matches, I guess. But, yeah. So MJF is hitting those cutters. He's making his, making some big comebacks. I mean, give MJF credit though. The fact that he's as agile enough as he is to actually jump clean over the top rope on supposedly a bum knee and deliver an RKO off the apron. Like,
cutter.
It's an RKO. Look at it.
Cutter.
Yeah, MJF collapses to the mat because, you know, he's just doing too many stupid moves that are aggravating his knee. MJF gives the doctor a middle finger, and he says he's not going to quit. He's going to keep going because he's a babyface. Jay White locks him in the figure 4. This is interesting because Adam Cole suddenly has a towel in his hands, and he's going to throw in the towel for MJF. And I'm like, this actually could be how Adam Cole turns heel without him, like, you know, if Tony Khan, if Tony Khan didn't want to keep stalling this storyline because of the injury, then yeah, you know, definitely have Cole turn heel and join up with Jay White, you know? But yeah, so Jay White takes the Ring of Honor World Tag Team title from Adam Cole, who's going to hit Jay White with it. White then hits MJF, and that's a really awesome false finish because, you know, Adam Cole was almost responsible for being the guy that, like, took the title off of MJF, not once but twice, throwing in the towel, accidentally throwing in the title belt. It was really good drama, man. I don't really know what else to tell you. Like,
this was an excellent match and an excellent story told. So Adam Cole almost cost MJF the title a couple of times. And then we get near the end where what weapon was introduced? Was it some brass knucks?
No. So Adam Cole actually pulls out the Dynamite Diamond ring.
But also Jay White had the fake ring with him too.
I don't think so. I think so.
I feel like it was one of those bait and switch kind of things where they threw one weapon in there, the referee took it out, and then MJF got to use the ring.
So there was a bit of a struggle for the Dynamite Diamond ring as Adam Cole pulled it out with a big, humongous grin on his face because he's helping out his bro Chacho. Jay White steps on the ring, basically says, no, no, no. MJF nails Jay White right in the dick with a low blow, grabs the Dynamite Diamond ring. The ass boys who have been ejected are now back. You know, apparently being ejected doesn't mean anything anymore. Nope. MJF nails both the ass boys with the Dynamite Diamond ring. Jay White then attempts to go for his sister Abigail because that's a Bray Wyatt tribute, I guess. It's the same move. It's the sister Abigail, but
this is the Blade Runner.
I'm saying it just to bug him, but anyway.
Blade Runner.
MJF avoids the sister Abigail and punches Jay White with. Anyway, yeah, MJF avoids it and hits Jay White with the Dynamite Diamond Ring.
The Blade Runner, yeah.
Yeah, and yes, he does avoid the Blade Runner. You're right. And MJF pins Jay White at a near 30-minute mark. This is a really good main event, man. I'm giving it 4 stars, maybe 4.
I'm gonna give it 4.25 stars because I thought the storytelling was excellent in this match.
4.25. 4.25.
The spots were absolutely insane. It had the drama that a pay-per-view main event world title match needs. I just, this didn't bother me as much as before, but after hearing the reports that Jay White himself was a little disgruntled, little too much unnecessary overbooking in this match. Like, Jay White was built so strong going into this main event, stealing the title. He had a pinfall victory over MJF. He had all this stuff. So I think it was super unnecessary to do the injury angle just so MJF could beat 3 people on his own on an injured knee. Like Jay White the bill was already super lopsided. And I feel like by default, again, Babyface 101, he's already overcoming so much adversity to get this win in the first place. You didn't need to do all of that. You don't need to Super Cena MJF is what I'm trying to say. There are people saying that Super Cena wasn't this bad.
Yeah, you're right. You are so right, man. But really good main event. Apparently, though, Jay White was not very pleased with how this match went down. You think he's starting to regret signing with this side rather than with Hunter?
Perhaps.
I mean, unless they need to find a way to start using Jay White, and that's. I mean, I get why.
In the Continental Classic, he could win the international title. Just don't drop the momentum on him.
No, you really should not drop the momentum on Jay White. I think he's going to be fine in the long haul, but as it sits in a vacuum, having him lose to a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest kind of makes him look like a chump, doesn't it?
It kind of does, yeah. And again, he had so much momentum going in. If they would have just left it at that, had the match like normal, and then it panned out like this, would have been fine. But again, too much unnecessary overbooking.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, though, as it sits. But in that case, I almost said all out. Full Gear 2023, I thought was a great show. I think it had a lot of really solid wrestling on there. You had at least half the card at the 4-star level or above. I don't know how to rate this, man.
I'm going to give it an 8.25 out of 10. I would have went 8.5, but just the main event was a little too overbooked for my liking. But yeah, I thought this was an excellent show. I loved most of the matches. There was only one match I did not care for, and that was Omega and Jericho versus the Bucks. But yeah, I think 8.25 out of 10 is great. How is World's End going to top this? We already have MJF versus Samoa Joe for the world title. It just depends on how they book it. In my opinion, I feel like they're booked into a corner at this point. Put the title on Joe.
Might as well, because Samoa Joe has only ever won the ROH world title and the TNA world heavyweight title throughout his run. Never won the WWE or Universal title when he was with Vince's promotion. Never won the NWA World's Heavyweight title. You know, I think you got to crown Joe there. I think you really do.
Do it while it's hot. Again, Jay White was hot. You didn't capitalize on it. Samoa Joe is hot right now. Capitalize on it. I feel like there's a lot of baby faces he could feud with. MJF can keep doing his thing. It's just like you don't want to burn the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
You already booked Joe to lose to MJF once. If you book him to lose again, I'm sorry, you're killing all of his momentum.
Well, see, at our match at World's End, you only have a 50-50 chance of winning, but MJF is a genetic freak, and he's not normal. Anyway, I'm gonna
when Scott Steiner did it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one an 8.5. I really enjoyed this for what it was. I mean, if I'm really I could push it up to an 8.75 if I wanted to, but realistically, 8.5 seems like a comfortable spot to put it for me. I think it's definitely in the upper tier of AEW shows this year. Don't know if I liked it more than Revolution. I don't know if I liked it more than All Out, if I'm really thinking about it. All Out, I think
All Out a 9. So
yeah.
I think I did.
Yeah. I think I gave All Out a 9 also, but yeah, man. No, I think I really enjoyed this show. Can't really complain too much, but yeah, I mean, probably in the short term, I would have probably said, man, I should have gone. That would have been a really fun time.
I think you should have.
Yeah. Long term, though. Hey, long term, though, I'm moving next year. So I'm going to need the money that I would have spent on Full Gear to actually pay some rent next year. But,
ladies and gentlemen, we got Survivor Series coming up tomorrow. It's War Games. We got 2 War Games matches. We got Damage Control versus I don't know if we're going to call it Team Flair. And we got Team Rollins versus the Judgment Day. Why is Cody Rhodes the team captain? Seth Rollins is the World Heavyweight Champion.
Because Cody was the one who called Randy Orton.
We have the return of the Viper, Randy Orton, coming back tomorrow night. We got Rhea Ripley versus Zoe Stark for the Women's World Championship. Join us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got on the horizon, and we got World's End next month. A lot of good stuff coming up.
A lot of good stuff. We got Vengeance 2005 and the Retro in the pipeline, and then we also have probably 2005's worst pay-per-view after that, looking at the card, the Great American Bash 2005 from SmackDown. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be a birthday present to me to record Great American Bash 05, talk about a shitty show. But yeah, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. Hit that thumbs up. It would be much appreciated. Tomas, thank you again, my friend. I will see you tomorrow. And yeah, take care, everybody.